Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Omuka and you're welcome to Jane by Design. So in this tutorial I'll be learning how to draft a basic sleeve pattern, and with me are the pattern master, the pattern paper, ruler, marker, and at some point I'll be needing the French curve as well. And the measurements we'll be needing for this tutorial are your armhole circumference, the length of the sleeve, and also the elbow, wrist, and bicep circumference, and also the cap's height. So first off, I'm just going over to divide my pattern paper into two equal parts and to also get the grain line for this paper. Now I'm just marking the middle of this paper to get the grain line, and then I'm going to go over to the top of the pattern and I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Now the essence of this line is just to serve as a starter, as a guideline, as a starting point for us to impute our measurements. So on that starting point I'll be marking it as the top of my sleeve. So that is where the top of the sleeve is going to start from. So now that I've done that, I'll just go over with the pattern master to connect the straight line that I marked. So that line is going to serve as the grain line for this pattern. So I'm just going to draw that vertical line all the way down to the edge of my pattern paper. Okay, so after I have drawn this line, I've gotten the division for the two of so I'm going to be using one side for the back armhole and the other side for the front armhole. So how this is going to work is this line that I've drawn is going to be like a center point, a grain line for my measurements. So first off, I'll be marking the cap height. So for my cap height, I've divided my armhole circumference into 3. So you divide your armhole circumference into 3, and whatever value you have, you place it on that grain line that we drew earlier, and then you mark it down. So for me, my armhole circumference is 5.5 inch. I've just marked 5.5 inch on that grain line, and also at the top of the grain line I'll be measuring the length of the sleeve. So for this sleeve pattern I'll be making use of 22 inch, which is a long sleeve. You can decide to go shorter, whichever length you feel like. So I've also gone ahead to mark a horizontal line to that effect. Now on that cap height that I marked earlier on, I will be marking a horizontal line as well, which is going to be where the bicep is going to sit. So on that line from my wrist and to the bicep line that I've just drawn, I will be measuring that out and I'll get the midpoint of that line. So when I get the midpoint of that line, I'll go up by half an inch, and this is going to be for my elbow line. So after you've gotten the midpoint of that line, you go up by half an inch and you mark a horizontal line, and that line is going to be for the elbow line, for the elbow. So I'll go ahead to label what each line is. So the down is the wrist, elbow, and the bicep. So for my bicep, my bicep circumference is 12 inch. 12 inch divided by 2 is 6 inches. So I'm going to be placing half of that value, that is half of 12 inch, on that grain line. So which means automatically I'll be having 6 inch at the back and 6 inch at the front. So 6 inch at the right side and 6 inch at the left side. The same thing I'll do for my elbow as well. I'll be marking my elbow circumference, which is 11 inch divided by 2, 5.5. So I'm just using my tape to make that division. It's so easy, you can just use your tape to calculate it. So just fold your tape over to where 11 inch is and you have your midpoint. Just place it on the grain line and measure that out. Same thing for my wrist. My wrist circumference is 9 inch divided by 2, that is 8.5. So I'm also using my tape as well to get the midpoint of 9 inch, and then I'll also be marking it on my wrist as well. So now that I have done all of this, I'm just going to connect the points together. I will be using the pattern master to connect the points together. So if you look at the pattern, you discover that my wrist to my elbow to the bicep is not straight. Yeah, that's because when I took this measurement, your elbow is not straight, so it will create room for your elbow when you move your elbow around. So from the bicep line, I'll also connect it to the top of the sleeve with I'm going to form a triangle to the top of the sleeve. So after that, I'll just go over to label what each side is. This is the back and the other side is the front armhole. So now that I have labeled each part, what I'll be doing for the front is I'll measure what I have there. Whatever value you get, you divide it into 2, get the midpoint of that line, and then mark the midpoint. After marking the midpoint, get the midpoint of the half of that line that you've marked, and also mark it. So basically, for the front armhole, we'll be dividing it into 4. So I've just gone over to mark the midpoint. After marking the midpoint, I'm also going to divide it again into 2 to mark it at the other side of the armhole. So basically, for the front armhole, like I said previously, we are going to be dividing it into 4. Same thing we'll do for the back, but the major difference is that for the back we'll be dividing it by 3. So we get the value we get from measuring that triangle at the back, and then we'll just divide it into 3. So I've just used my marker to highlight the points that I have just made. Okay, so after I've done that, I'm just going to go up by 0.75. I'm just coming out by 0.75 on the top edge of the right sleeve, and then at the lower side of the right sleeve I'll also be coming in by 0.5. so for the top part, I'll be going up by 0. I'll be coming out by 0.75. At the lower side, I'll be going in by 0.5. Also for the back, I'll be going up by 0.5 for the top side, and also at the downside, at the bottom side, I'll be going in by 0.25. So after I have marked those points together, the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be using my French curve to connect the points. So I'll just make sure that your French curve hits all the points that you have marked on your sleeve. Okay, so when you are placing your curve, your French curve or your armhole curve on it, make sure that all the points are gotten at the same time. So I'm just going ahead to mark the front and the back armhole. So you discover that the front armhole is quite deeper than the back armhole. Okay, so after I have done this, basically the next thing we are going to do is just to add seam allowances all around the pattern, and we are done with this draft. So I'm just going to be adding 1/2 inch seam allowance all around the pattern, on the sleeve head, the sides of the sleeve, and at the sleeve hem, that is the wrist, I will be adding 1 inch seam allowance to that as well. Okay, so I'm done adding the seam allowances. The next thing I'll be doing is to cut out the pattern. So guys, after we're done cutting, this is what the sleeve should look like. That's the front and the back. I'm just going to fold it so that you see what it also looks like. So guys, please, if you like my video, subscribe to my channel, and please support your girl by subscribing to my channel and like my video, share my video. If you have anything, you can drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be happy to attend to them. So until I see you in my next video, take care and do have a lovely day. Bye.